Welcome back, painting friends. Today we are going to paint a cute little snowman in front of a Christmas tree farm. Colors you're going to need, well, we're going to need pink, teal, purple, yellow, red, brown, white, black, and light blue. I always have my favorite 4 brushes at my studio, so my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brush. Make sure to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping those brushes clean. And remember, if you like what you're seeing here today, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of the tutorials. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by just throwing some white paint on this canvas just to have something to move my paint around with. I always like to start with a base layer. So we're going to throw some white paint on there. And then what we're going to do is down at the bottom, we're going to use mostly white paint with just the smallest amount of that teal. Okay, and we're just going to kind of make a small little hill here so we know kind of where the ground is going to be in our picture. I don't even really have to wash my brush off, but I'm going to grab a lot of white paint again and then some pink. And I'm going to add a layer of a very light pink right in here. Now I like how my pink and my white, I could see the lines in them. I don't need to smooth it out so that it's completely a smooth pink color. But as I go up, I'm going to add more pink and less white so we can make that transition to that purple. All right, now I'm going to go in. I'm just going to wipe that brush off a little bit, not a whole lot. Grab some purple paint. We're going to start to add that top layer of purple in. I still have some pink and some white on my brush. So I want those colors to kind of play together a little bit as they start to mix. And I'm just using really long, swoopy brush strokes to kind of give my sky a look of some movement. All right, I love that. I'm going to wipe my brush off, wash my brush off, set this all aside and let this dry. When I come back, we're going to add in those trees and that cute little snowman. With the background finished, we're now going to add in our trees. So I'm going to take some, you can use any of the colors you want on your canvas, but all of these colors I want to add some white to. So like my pink, I'm going to add white to it. My teal, I'm going to add white to it. I want these to all be very light pastel colors for the base layer. So I'm not going to add white to the whole entire area, just a little bit so that I have some lighter colors. So like for that teal, let's add some white to that teal. And let's go ahead and lay out our trees. Now these trees are going to be really simple, okay? They are just going to be tall triangles. I've got my number 10 round brush, and I'm just going to kind of paint in some messy tall triangles. I'm not even closing the bottom of them up because I want that fuzzy texture. And you can make as many or as few of these as you want. You can make them all different sizes. And don't worry, leave them a little bit messy, okay? You can even add some extra white to some of them. Maybe you really like that purple, but you want an extra light purple. Just add some extra white to it and throw in a lighter purple one. After all those are on there, I'm going to go in with the straight color. So not adding any of the water in there. And I'm even going to use some of them with some white, but I'm going to go in like, I'll take some purple and I will on like maybe my teal or my blue. I'm just going to add a couple of curved lines of purple to them. So I do want my trees to all stay the same, meaning that if I'm going to put purple on my light blue trees, I'm going to add purple to all of my light blue trees. Okay. I can wipe that brush off and I can grab some white and I can do the same thing. And all we're doing is giving a little bit of an idea of a texture. So some of these lines can even kind of pop off the tree if you want them to. But remember, just let this be a little bit messy. So number 6 round brush, I'm just going to take some of these original darker colors and just kind of throw those colors on there to kind of help show that it is a tree. Okay, let's let this dry. When we come back, we're going to add in those lights and that cute little snowman. All right, with the dry background, I'm now going to take with my finger some white and some yellow paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that white and yellow and just find a clean spot on my palette and just kind of tap those colors together to kind of make a nice mix of yellow and white. And I'm just going to put a dot at the bottom of each of these. And then the same type of thing, I'm going to take my finger with just some white paint on it, and I'm going to just kind of tap some of that extra white up. I want very, very, very little white on my finger, but I'm going to set some spots of just white dots in the background. And I can even take my finger and kind of just make like some circles with it to kind of thin it out a little bit. But I just want it to look like there's big, huge, fluffy snows coming down. So just a little bit of white paint on your finger. Set it down and kind of spin it around a little bit to give that illusion of some big, fluffy white paint. If you get too much, like I just did right there, that's not a big deal. You just kind of go back to that spot and grab some of that paint off and keep putting it in your sky. You can even add some white and blue or even some pink and white to this if you wanted to have some extra colors in the sky. Have fun with it. With white paint on my number 6 round brush, I'm just going to tap a little bit of white on top of this black line so it looks as though there is some snow on top of it. I'm also going to add a little bit on the top of the lights. With the back of my brush, I'm going to go in there and just add some solid white snowflakes. I like to use the back of my brush. I just think it makes a really nice circle. let's make our little snowman in there. So number 6 round brush, some white paint. I'm just going to put right down here a big, huge circle. On top of that, I'm going to put another circle, but it's not going to be a perfect circle. It's going to be a little bit of an ovalish shape. And go ahead and paint all that in. Look, I covered that whole little teal tree up down there. I'm going to take a little bit of that teal paint and add it to the edge of my circle. So I've got it on the edge of my circle now. And I'm going to go back in with white paint and just kind of paint the edge into the center. Maybe even add just a little bit of purple down here on this bottom corner for a small shadow. Wipe that brush off and I can just kind of blend that purple in a little bit. I'm going to use that dark blue paint for my scarf, so I'm just going to put a scarf line right across here. I'm just going to kind of come right down here on the front of his body. And then I'm going to make his little sock cap. Same thing, I'm just going to make a curved line right here. Make it kind of go up and down. Wipe that brush off. Grab some white paint and just kind of make some flicks of white going out from here. And you'll grab some of that blue on there, which is perfect. Same thing right down here at the edge of his scarf. A little bit of white paint on the number 6 round brush to make those edges. Even maybe add a little bit of, I'm just going to kind of take my brush and tap it along this edge to have it look a little bit like there's some fluffy edge to his hat. Back of my brush, I'm going to give him 2 little eyes. And I have one right up here, one right here. And his little mouth too. I'll take my brown paint and put a little arm coming out here. Just a skinny little line with my number 6 round brush, maybe a couple little extra twig pieces on there. Put one out this way too. I did not put any yellow on my palette, so I'm just going to take a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow and mix them together and get myself an orange color. So a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, mix those up really nice. Get a good orange color for his nose. Make a little triangle right here. And I can use some of that red to shadow it down a little bit. I'm going to take some white paint and draw out where my little heart is going to be. And some black to kind of come down to hold that heart. All right, let's finish up our details while that heart dries a little bit. Top of his hat, I'm going to add a small little highlight of white. I'm going to brush that in a little bit. I might even add a little bit of black right here in the crack. On his scarf, I'm going to add a small little bump of black right there to show where the little knot is. Maybe a little bit at the bottom of each of those. I'm going to go in with a little bit of black and that brown paint. I want to darken his arms up just a little bit. I think that brown's just a little too light, so a little bit of black and brown on here. All right, and for that heart, I'm just going to grab some of that red paint and fill this little red spot in. Wipe that off, grab a little bit of white for a highlight at the top. Maybe one at the bottom. And then I'm going to use a little bit of watered down black paint to make just a small little outline around that heart. I am loving this little guy. All right, to finish off, I'm going to take a little bit of white and that light purple color. A little bit of white and light purple, and I'm just going to make a couple of lines right along the bottom where there's a little bit of a snowdrift. You can even add some like teal in there if you want, or some light blue in there, kind of have fun with it. A couple little squiggly lines in there. And I think we have it where I love it. So what do you have to do? Well, when you're finished, you have to find a color that's going to show up well on your canvas and sign your name. Remember that I never get to see what you're painting at home unless you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you are kept up to date on all of the tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day now. Bye.